Some people are basically a living buffet for mosquitoes, and some people sit right next to them, completely unbothered, not a single bite. Scientists actually ran a study on this. They put a bunch of people in a room with mosquitoes. 20% of those people ended up with 95% of all the bites. 95%. That is not a coincidence. That is a conspiracy. And if you have ever sat outside at a barbecue while your friend next to you got eaten alive and you walked away clean, then you already know exactly what I am talking about. But if you are the one always getting destroyed, then this video is going to explain exactly why your life is like this. And honestly, it might make you feel a little better or a little worse, depending on how deep this goes. So let us start with the thing everybody thinks they know: blood type. People love to say mosquitoes prefer type O blood, or type A, or whatever blood type they happen to have, as an excuse for why they keep getting bitten. The truth is, the evidence for blood type being a major factor is weak. Very weak. Like, embarrassingly weak for how confidently people say it. Researchers have looked at this. The data does not hold up cleanly, so you can stop blaming your blood type. Something else is going on, and it is actually way more interesting. Mosquitoes, specifically female mosquitoes, are the ones drinking blood. The males just eat flower nectar and mind their business. It is the females that are out here treating you like a meal, and they use 4 main signals to find you. 4. And almost none of them have anything to do with what is inside your veins. The first one is carbon dioxide. Every single time you exhale, you are basically sending out a flare signal. Mosquitoes can detect carbon dioxide from up to 30 meters away. 30 meters is almost the length of a basketball court. So before a mosquito has even seen you, before it is anywhere near you, it has already locked onto your breath. It is already on its way. And once it picks up that CO2 trail, it flies directly toward the source. No detours, no hesitation, straight at you. The second signal is color. And this one surprises people. Certain mosquitoes have visual systems that are tuned to detect the specific wavelengths that human skin reflects. Different skin tones reflect light differently, and mosquitoes can actually see that. So once they get within visual range, they are scanning for you specifically. Not for a tree, not for a rock, for a warm human body. The third signal is heat. Once a mosquito gets within about a meter of you, it switches to body heat detection. It literally homes in on the warmth your body is giving off, like a tiny heat-seeking missile. Except the payload is a needle in your arm, and an itch you will scratch for 3 days. So carbon dioxide, color, and heat. That is 3 signals. And here is the problem. Every human breathes. Every human is human-colored. Every human is warm. So those 3 signals do not explain why some people get destroyed and others walk away clean. If you have been exercising, your breathing is faster, and your temperature is slightly higher, so you become setting a marginally more attractive target. But that does not explain the full gap. The study said 20% of people got 95% of the bites. Exercise alone cannot account for that kind of difference. So what is the real answer? It is how you smell, not how you smell to other people. How you smell to a mosquito, and this is where it gets genuinely strange. Your skin is covered in bacteria, millions of them, and different people have different communities of bacteria living on their skin. Your particular bacterial community is producing chemicals constantly. Some of those chemicals smell completely irresistible to mosquitoes. One study found that mosquitoes were 100 times more attracted to people whose skin produced large amounts of a compound called carboxylic acid compared to people whose skin produced less of it. 100 times. Not 10% more attractive. Not twice as attractive. 100 times. So if your skin bacteria are producing a lot of that compound, you are not just a slightly better meal. You are basically a 5-star restaurant while everyone else is a vending machine. And here is the part that really locks this in. Your particular blend of skin bacteria is mostly determined by your genes, not your diet, not your soap, your genes. Researchers confirm this by looking at identical twins versus non-identical twins. Identical twins share the same genes. Non-identical twins share about half. The results were clear. Identical twins were far more likely to both be mosquito magnets or both not be, compared to non-identical twins. Because they have the same genetic blueprint, they ended up with similar bacterial communities on their skin, producing similar chemical profiles. So if you are a mosquito magnet, it is not because of anything you did. Your genes set up the bacteria. The bacteria produce the chemicals. The chemicals advertise you to every mosquito in a 30-meter radius. You were born into this. And since you cannot change your genes, you are more or less stuck with whatever level of attractiveness mosquitoes have assigned to you. That feels deeply unfair, and it is. But wait, there is actually one way you could become a mosquito magnet, even if you were not one before. And this is where the story gets genuinely unsettling. It is by getting bitten by a mosquito. I know how that sounds. Hear me out. Certain viruses that mosquitoes carry, specifically viruses like Zika and dengue fever, can actually change the bacterial environment on a host's skin after infection. These viruses essentially reprogram the skin bacteria. They boost the types of bacteria that produce more of those attractive chemical compounds. So after you are infected, your skin starts broadcasting a stronger signal. You become more attractive to more mosquitoes, which brings in more mosquitoes, which gives those viruses more chances to jump into new hosts. The virus is not just hitching a ride. It is actively engineering the situation to spread itself further. It turned you into bait. So let us bring this all together. Mosquitoes find you through a 4-step system. First, they detect your breath from 30 meters out. Then they visually locate your body. Then they home in on your heat. And then your skin bacteria seal the deal. The bacteria part is the most important factor in explaining why some people get bitten constantly while others nearby get nothing. It comes down to your genes determining your bacteria determining your chemical output, and your chemical output determining how exciting you smell to a mosquito. And if you are unlucky enough to get infected by a mosquito-borne virus, that virus may actually reprogram your skin bacteria to make you even more of a target going forward. Nature is not cruel, exactly, but it is absolutely not on your side either. So next time you are at a bonfire and your friend is completely fine, and you look like you lost a fight with a patch of stinging nettles, you now know why. Your bacteria are loud. Your genes wrote the advertisement. And the mosquitoes are just following the signal. The same signal that has been broadcasting from your skin since the day you were born.